All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy almost New Year. This is Ask a Clutter Boss. It is December 30th, 2025. And this episode, I've talked about this a little bit throughout the year. I've been talking about it a little bit in Clutter Boss Blueprint. I really want to dive into why, and how I have almost hit my goal this year of 4 million steps. And I just want to say, I love goal setting. I think about goal setting every year. It's like one of my favorite things to do, but I don't often hit my goals. In recent years, I have really been more focused on setting a theme for the year, coming up with a word for the year. Um, I had kind of gotten away from setting actual goals because I was never having success meeting my goals. So I thought maybe I should really just refocus on a direction to move. And that's what I had been doing for years and years and years. And then what happened this year that changed everything? I just want to dive into this goal setting, what worked for me specifically with this one goal, and what it's going to look like for me with my goals next year. And I hope that you can take this episode, take some little tidbits from it, and maybe see some massive success with one or more of your goals next year. So, I want to be very clear. The goal that I hit, or I have almost hit, that I will hit by tomorrow night at 11:59 p.m. is 4 million steps in 1 year. But this was not a fitness goal by any stretch of the imagination. What actually happened, and if you have seen me looking down, I have my notes here because I've been thinking about this episode for so long. I'm so excited to share it. What actually happened was I happened to download, I love widgets on my phone. So I have an iPhone. I love using widgets instead of just having icons, app icons all over my screen. I feel like widgets are fun. They give you information. And I happened to download a widget called Steps Widget. That's literally the name of it, Steps Widget, just to kind of track my steps throughout the year, just to have a widget on my phone that was giving me some good information. And when I added this widget to my home screen, I realized that it actually showed 5 years worth of data at once. And when I had a visual of my steps over the years, it was like a freaking gut punch. Seriously, I thought, oh my gosh, this is a visual of my mental health for the past 5 years. 2021 was an absolutely horrible, rough year for me. It was probably in my most recent adult history one of my most difficult years mentally. I was very, very, very depressed. I had a lot of stuff going on. It just was not a good year. In 2022, I spent the entire year just trying to pull myself out of this depression, figure out what the heck was going on, and figure out how to move forward. In 2023, I realized I needed to improve my health, and I did a lot of things to just start moving again, return to nature. 2023 was a year that a bunch of coaches and I in Clutter Boss, we did a 75 hard. I have a whole podcast on that we recorded after it. All of these fitness and health goals, they seem like physical fitness goals, but the reality is each and every single time they were mental health goals for me. And when I downloaded this steps widget and I put this on my phone, I had this absolute gut punch because I realized I had the visual of how not moving contributed to my poor mental health. And I will say that 2021 was an absolutely scary year for me personally. And after pulling myself out of it and, changing things in my life and really working hard to not be in such a bad mental state, I wanted to make sure I still want to make sure I never go back there again. So when I saw these, the visual representation of how my physical movement was connected to my mental health. Now it wasn't all about physical movement, obviously. It was just one piece of the puzzle. When I downloaded this at the beginning of this year and I saw that, I was like, okay, this is a goal for me to never be in a position where I'm not moving my body and it's actually contributing to poor mental health. So, what can I do this year? What goal can I set this year to make sure that I keep moving my body, because I know that that is going to be one way, one element of ensuring that I do not get into a bad mental spot again. And so I looked at the numbers for the past 5 years. 2021, I had 1.6 million steps. 2022, I had 2.1 million steps. 2023, I had 3.6 million steps. 2024, 3 point almost 6 million steps. And it just came out of nowhere. I thought, why not this year? Why not try and hit 4 million steps? But really, the reason behind this is because I wanted to make sure that I was prioritizing my mental health. So I want to be really clear. This was not like a let's get healthy this year challenge. This was like a let's not get suicidally depressed ever again challenge. And I think that that motivation is really important. Like, how can we tie this back to something that's really, really meaningful to us? And that was incredibly meaningful to me. So that's why I set this goal. It was really about protecting my mental health. And the steps gave me that visual truth that I could process now after the fact. And it gave me a way to continue on this upward mental health path. So, why did this work this year? Number one, having this visual on my home screen made this so easy to see how I was doing. It was extremely easy for me to track my steps. I wear an Apple Watch. My steps just get tracked automatically. There was no real thought involved in how should I do the tracking. There were not a lot of extra steps. When we talk about decluttering your home and creating an easy home, the more steps you have, the more difficult it is to maintain your home, right? And the more steps in the process. Same thing with this. Tracking was so easy and so visual. So there were also no subjective rules or anything. It was just a straight up simple steps goal. Like, I just had to take steps, they would be counted, I would see it. It was so easy. So when you think about setting your goals, how easy can you make these goals? How visual can you make these goals? Can you find an app to support your progress? And actually, another app that I use is called Progress. That's a great app. You have to input the numbers yourself, but it gave me, this is actually a little slider bar here. It showed me over the year my progress versus like the percentage of my goal versus percentage of the year. And I was always so close, which is another reason that I kept going, right? Okay, so the visual tracking, being so close all year long, kept the goal super manageable. I could see how the progress that I was making, I could see that I was close. If I could see that maybe I was like, it was, 50% of the year was over and I was at 49% of my goal, I could step it up, ignore the pun, and kind of catch up on my steps. So that it was attainable and achievable. And that definitely helped throughout the year. Other things that made this goal work this year. Number one, I showed this app. I mean, raise your hand in the comments if you have seen me this year talk about this app and show you my home screen. My friends, my family, my coworkers, my clients, I showed my home screen to so many people because I was so excited about this visual. I was excited to share it. And it was something that, yes, Marie, it was something that other people could visually see and understand immediately. We all know about steps tracking. We all know about mental health. And actually seeing my visual encouraged so many other people to download the steps widget and look at their numbers in a different way. So having a community that understood my goal, could relate to my goal, and could see their own information motivated me to keep going. And it motivated a lot of other people to also start setting a similar goal along these lines. That external accountability is so incredibly huge. We talk about this all the time. External accountability moves the needle. So having other people know my goal, having the ability to quickly share my progress. I posted it on my Instagram. I mean, just having that external accountability made a world of difference. And it builds momentum. That momentum multiplies when you're sharing your goals and other people are excited for you. And then they're setting their own goals based on your goal. You can't mess up then, right? Like you got to keep showing up because other people now are watching. They're watching. I did learn some lessons from this goal setting exercise. So if you notice here, this was a live screenshot right before I went on this podcast. I have about 25,000 steps that I have to take between today and tomorrow. So if your goal is to do 4 million steps a year, the daily goal is 10,965 or something. So over the course of the year, I was not consistently hitting that goal every single day. I would have high days and low days, high days and low days. And one of my takeaways from this is consistency really makes a difference. We're at the end of the year now. The past couple of days, I've had to do like 15,000 steps a day. I'm like, really, Jess? Really? If I had just been more consistent instead of relying on having super high days to counteract my lower days, it would be a lot easier right now. Now, is this difficult? No, I can do this. I'm going to do this. There is no chance that I am not going to hit my 4 million step goal, period. I'm doing it, right? But I have kind of been kicking myself for not being more consistent and not front loading my year to hit this goal. I've also been saying I'm never, ever going to set a goal like this again because it's a lot of pressure at the end of the year. We'll talk about that in a second. But that was really my biggest takeaway was being consistent matters so much more than anything else. I could very easily do 10,900 steps a day. It's one walk. It's literally one walk gets me to that, really close to that number every single day. There's no reason I shouldn't be going on a walk with my dog every day. And if I had been more consistent in the beginning of the year, I was really relying on a high steps summer, doing a lot of hiking, and that happened. But again, consistency would have been so much easier. What I've learned about goal setting moving forward, goals are not about smart metrics or having motivation. They are about consistency. Having some visual aid that you look at all the time really helps. And who is not looking at their phone so many times during the day? Turn your phone into a tool that helps you set your goal. Phones can be such a time suck, but they can also be really motivating. You have the power to choose how you're using that home screen. Use that power wisely. Find some widgets that work for you. Put your word of the year on your home screen. Lock up your phone. If it is taking your time away from other things, lock that thing up. Use the power that you have to hit your goals. Use this as a powerful tool, not a powerful detractor in your life, right? Okay. So goals work when they're visible. That's what I learned. They work when you have that external accountability, and they work when you have a system and a habit to support hitting your goal. And sometimes you just have to get out of your own way and just go for the damn walk. Just go for the walk. Just stop talking yourself out of it. This is what I had to say to myself so many times this year, right? Now, I did say that I would never set a goal like this again, but I had a challenge from my husband last night to set a higher goal next year. And I have to say, there has been a little benefit to being at the end of the year and having to do extra steps, because I feel like I've had to do about 15,000 steps a day for the past week and a half or so. This is also a time of the year when I don't normally move that much. So I have been forced to be walking and walking and walking, regardless of the weather. I do have a treadmill too. Sometimes I walk on the treadmill, but I have been feeling that I've been much more balanced this holiday season. I've been consuming more sweets and stuff like that, but also walking 15,000 steps a day. So even though I didn't front load my year, I feel like there has been a benefit to it on the backside here. And I've been excited to be going on my walks, even though I've been bitching about it nonstop. But my husband challenged me last night to set a higher steps goal for next year. And at first I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing this again. But also, I'm a little bit competitive. And I started crunching some numbers, and I have decided that actually I am going to set a higher steps goal for next year. And my goal is going to be more consistent throughout the year of hitting this goal. So my goal for next year now is 4.25 million steps, which is about 11,500 steps a day. But my real goal is to be consistent with hitting that on a regular basis. And here is my external accountability. I am telling you all, this is what I'm doing. I'm putting it out there. Most people don't care, right? But to me, it feels like external accountability. And Amy, no, he is not going to join me. He is not a goal setter at all. He is so different than I am. But that's okay, because I found the motivation from, the challenge that was proposed. So that's all good. He's not going to join me. I'm doing this one on my own, unless anybody here wants to join me. 4.25 million steps. I mean, download the app, download the Progress app, and let's do it, right? We have nothing to lose. And that is another big takeaway. Setting big goals, you have nothing to lose by trying to hit that goal. Because even if you don't actually hit the goal, you will most likely go further than you would have if you had set a mediocre goal. So I will say, dream big, set yourself up for massive success. And if you get anywhere close to that, amazing. And if you don't, what didn't work? What's the feedback that you can take away from this? Okay, my core takeaways here. Successful goals are about support and consistency. Visual tools, community, and external accountability matter so much. And if you need motivation, what is the one thing that is going to help you move that needle? For me, I never want to have another year like 2021. And I know that it is on me to make sure that that never happens again. That is a powerful motivator. And I will hang on to that lifeline as hard as I can for as long as I can. I will be moving my body because I know that is one massive contributor to my positive mental health. And that's, for me, that's something that's just going to keep me going. Find your thing that really, truly matters to you, and set up your life to make sure that you are moving in the direction that you want to be moving in. Okay, so just quickly again, the Steps widget app is literally called Steps Widgets. That's that's what it's called. And the other app that I use a lot is Progress. So that has some nice widget. That's this one on the bottom left here. So yes, Crystal, do it. You have nothing to lose. Do it with me, right? Let's hit our goals together. You guys, Happy New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's. I love the motivation at the beginning of the year. We have a chance to change things in our lives, but the only one that can do it is you. So set yourself up for that success. Give yourself the gift of the best version of yourself. I love you all so much. Thank you for being my cheerleaders. Thank you for being my external accountability. Thank you for being my community. And we are going to rock 2026 together. Bye, everyone. Happy New Year.